All right, guys, episode 23 of Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay still.
I'm Shane still.
I am still Scott. We're back for another episode.
We are, and we're talking about CEH tonight. Scott, you are up. Are you buying, selling? Where you at?
Well, you asked before we started the show, am I interested in Clyde Edwards-Helaire? And I'm interested in every Dynasty player at a price, and that's why we do this show, is to talk about the price, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing about Clyde Edwards-Helaire is he is a running back. Not many of them are standing, even in week 9. And who knows how many are going to be standing in week 11 when maybe he's like a full go that you can start again. So that's still 2 weeks and probably, a fourth of the top 24 running backs still to get hurt over the next 2 weeks. So there may be a point where he comes back and you're like, wow, he could be the savior. And you never thought you'd say that. I think the issue with CEH is if you look at DLF, and this is October's ADP. So sadly, this was after he basically sucked for half the season. Somehow he's still running back 16, which is baffling to me. I think probably part of that is the fact that he's on the Chiefs. He was a first-round pick. He has some insulation, meaning like he's not going to get flat out cut, or his situation's probably not going to change. But, is he actually a good football player? We don't know. So I'm interested because he is a running back. They are scarce. They're hard to get. They're hard to find in a lot of leagues at this point. I doubt I can go buy, though, because now that he's coming back from an injury here in a week or two, that seems to be when you get this artificial price spike.
Yep.
So my buy cost would be less than a first because he wasn't worth that before this injury. I doubt I'm sending many offers that are seconds and fillers and still being able to acquire him. So that's where I'm at. I'm interested because he's a running back, but not so interested given he still has a name cachet attached to him.
Shane.
I don't want CEH. Look, I talked about this a couple different podcasts. Before the season, I was all in. I'm like, look, it's his second year. He's going to look better because I couldn't come up with a legitimate reason, but he's going to look better because it's his second year. So, comfortable in the offense, whatever narrative street you want to tell yourself. CEH just is very average. He looked great at LSU. We're keep holding on to that, expecting that to happen, but it's not. It's not. He's not in college anymore. Unfortunately, he's just not what we thought he was going to be. So I'm not going to pay the cost for him because people are, still want too much for him.
What are you selling him for?
Well, I mean, hopefully no one watches this that I try to trade him for. But I take a wide receiver for him. I'll take Calvin Ridley. I'll take not Juju, Michael Gallup. I'll take basically any wide receiver 3 just about could probably get CEH from me.
I'll give you a late second and Trey Sermon. You take that?
I don't appreciate the Trey Sermon, so no, I do not.
But you're pivoting to a running back that probably isn't any good to one you're saying isn't any good, so you're getting a free second, right?
I don't like that offer at all. I will decline, and I will try to get more out of you.
Okay. I think he's down in the range of like A.J. Dillon, Zach Moss, Tony Pollard. Like he's down in that range where you're just not sure what you're going to get, but there's some pedigree or there's some talent behind it, but you're not 100% confident on like what the role is going to be. But has the community adjusted down that far? No, because he still has too much of a name behind him. So we just don't act fast enough and you can't get any deals done.
Yeah, I had a ton of CEH going into this year. He was like one of my guys as well. Big old fat L there. I'm trying to think what I would sell him for. I wouldn't sell him for a single second. I would smash Shane style on any first probably. I might sell him for 2 seconds, a 2022. I don't even think I'd do it for that.
If it's auction, I'll take it 2 seconds. Yeah, auction bucks.
I'd like to get like a like a Khalil Herbert or like a Damian Harris or something like that, plus like a little piece, if I could. What do you think about that?
I think that's the move. I think if you want to pivot, you pivot from, you don't want to sell for a second, but if you can get that second and literally another running back that you could maybe start, like if I can get a decent 23 second and like Kenyon Drake or something like that, I would consider that type of move because somebody's going to need to get the ball in Las Vegas. I think Drake could be a guy that is a usable running back the rest of the way. Like I would take that and the second potentially and just hedge my bets. I think Drake could outproduce CEH for the next year or two. You never know.
Yep.
I don't think Drake will because Drake is terrible at football. But I understand the premise behind it. But yeah, but like the other guys you were mentioning when you were like, you'd have to dip down to Pollard. I would run and like I'd be stoked if someone would give me Pollard or Moss for him. Like at least Moss, I know his team likes him. Yes.
CEH or Gainwell?
CEH, because Gainwell, we just saw what it looks like when he doesn't have Miles Sanders in the backfield, and Nick Sirianni apparently hates him. Apparently, that's a tandem. If there's no Sanders, there's going to be no Gainwell until the fourth quarter.
CEH or Cordero Patterson?
CEH.
I don't want to say.
Shane he just sees dollar signs. The one that could do that for him is Cordero Patterson, right?